Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Real Bros Podcast. I'm your host, Logan Thomas. With me, as always, is my most excellent co-host,
Caden Green.
and together we are the Real Bros. Caden, we're continuing on with another franchise this week. We get to dive back into
Venom.
This week, we're covering Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Honestly, this movie is, and I don't like using this term, it's a very mid movie.
Yeah. It's got
good action. It's got good acting.
it's a big old nothing burger.
It's a very hollow movie.
Yeah.
Because like this movie, I remember the first time I went and seen this because we seen this in theaters when it came out.
Yes.
I told you like, dude, there's like a half hour of this movie that's like missing or something. Because it's barely an hour and a half long. Yeah, there's just a lot in here, and it just boom, 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 boom rushes through it. And it's not really anybody's fault, I would say, except maybe the writers.
It's not a bad movie.
No, if you want like that B movie action superhero kind of movie, it's fantastic.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But I feel like if you're a fan of Carnage and a fan of just like old Venom, it's kind of underwhelming. Because they try to adapt the Maximum Carnage story arc with like Shriek and all that other good stuff. But it's just very rushed. And I read this in Production Tales. The creators wanted this to be rated R. But the studio said no because they thought their box office money came from it being PG-13. So I'm going to guess all the good stuff got cut because of that.
Probably.
And the worst part is this movie was directed by Andy Serkis, the guy who did Gollum in Lord of the Rings, like the king of mocap.
Oh.
Because like he's a good director, but like I just feel like, and I don't mean to be rude when I say this, it's a Sony movie. It's a Sony Marvel movie.
The Sony Spider-Man movies are the spin-off movies are not good.
They're hollow. All of them are hollow. You can tell they're just trying to make some kind of superhero money, but they can't use Spider-Man because of their deal with Disney.
But right now, or as of us recording this, Venom is their probably best figure outside of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's the reason why these movies made any money. That I think because Tom Hardy is so good at doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like Jared Leto is Jared Leto about.
He's got a couple good roles, but you also got to think a lot of the times it's not the actor, it's the direction the role is taken.
Yeah, and with so many of these darker superhero movies, the studio doesn't want to have an R rating or whatever because they want money.
Yeah.
So they want general audience, they want general public to be able to see it. That means like younger kids, they want everybody to be able to see it. And honestly, that's where they lose their money, and they haven't learned that yet. So,
which real quick, this is going back to Jared Leto. When his movie Morbius came out, never seen it, don't plan on seeing it, but the internet was joking so badly about how it was gonna make this was a fake word, a more $1 billion. And Sony took that as, oh, people love this movie. And they put it out for a second screening like a month later, and hardly anybody saw it.
That or it's Morbin time. I remember that meme very, very well. Our friend Hunter loves Morbius memes.
They're so good.
I remember on one of our friends' Jeeps, he put the Morbicon.
But no, I will say, Jared Leto is a He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
One of his most prominent roles right now,
His
Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a meme about Skeletor. Jared Leto did it so well because he's been, um, uh, what's the kind of acting like method acting?
Hmm.
He's been method acting an old bony man for years, and that's why he did Skeletor so well.
it he
It
he did it.
worked. It
It worked
worked,
really well.
and like I love how I know this is going off a tangent from Venom, of course, but I do love how everybody was like, "Hey, uh, Jared Leto's doing a Tom Hardy impression for Skeletor." When like the first trailer came out or whatever, it was like it's not. Like I can understand it, but like I also re-watched a bunch of clips. His accent changes like 2 or 3 times as Skeletor. But you know what? Whatever, it works.
It was a really good Skeletor.
I'm honestly kind of excited to cover Masters of the Universe on this podcast.
Mhm. Whatever that is.
Hey, whenever it happens, it's happening.
Absolutely.
But Venom 2, mid. If you like the first movie, you're definitely gonna like the second one because like it. And one of my biggest pet peeves about this movie is one of the things I liked about the first movie so much is like the buddy cop stuff.
Mhm.
They pretty much just got rid of everything and just made this movie entirely a buddy cop movie between Eddie and Venom. And just it's almost like they just like took notes about what everybody liked about the first movie and just only did that for this movie.
Kind of, sorta.
But they definitely ramped up the comedy on
Which,
this one.
that's fine.
But like I do like the comedy, but when you're adapting a character like Carnage, it's not there has to be like darkness because of how dark the character is. He's borderline a horror character.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like there have been comic books where he's done like some absolutely atrocious things. But yeah, definitely think this movie would have been better rated R.
Oh, yeah.
But we said that about the first Venom movie, saying it could have been a horror movie.
Really, any of the Venom movies could have been a horror movie,
Right?
but they're all good movies. It kind of sucks for me because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and
Right.
so in turn, I'm a huge Venom fan. I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
what he does, what he can do. And when I first saw this movie, I'm like, hey, whoa, wait a second. He's not supposed to act like he doesn't act like that. That
I feel like they nerf him on purpose in this movie just to make
it's all
Carnage seem more terrifying.
no matter what, the best way I can describe is Venom is the underdog.
Mm. Yeah, he's like that
Which
in every movie almost.
which makes sense in context of like the movies themselves
Mm-hmm.
because Venom's like the weakest of the symbiotes, supposedly.
Yeah, even though that's absolutely the exact opposite in the comic books. But whatever.
Yeah, to each their own.
Uh, but is there anything else you want to add before we get going with our other stuff?
No, sure.
All right, then take us through your quick review and we will get into Venom Let There Be Carnage.
All right. So, Eddie and Venom are back again, and this time Eddie's deciding to do more actual reporter stuff, going back to his roots from the first movie, and this kind of leads him down a rabbit hole of detective mysteries leading around the murder cases of Cletus Kassady to find his victims' bodies before he himself is executed. Along the way, some events transpire that leads to the rise of the new symbiote, Carnage.
Yeah, I th- it's this movie has me on the fence about a lot of things. Like Woody Harrelson's acting, I loved it in this movie.
I just, I think he's too old.
He is. Like Cletus Kassady is supposed to be like this young, vibrant,
Tw-
psychotic serial killer.
20 or 30 years old at most.
And I think they did that because I don't think Tom Hardy's much younger than him, because I think Tom Hardy's pushing about 40
Hmm.
or something, but still. Like Woody Harrelson does the crazy extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think that's the reason why he was cast. Also because like the guy who directed the first movie, Ruben Fleischer, did Zombieland, so he knew Woody Harrelson.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I feel like if they would have cast somebody younger, they could have done a lot more interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if they would have done rated R, we would have got a lot more of Cletus Kassady, like doing Cletus Kassady things.
Not just Cletus Cassidy and Carnage.
Yeah, because he's almost like a weird Southern Joker in this movie, almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
it's an interpretation.
it's not bad, but it for me personally it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
If they would have made, if okay, if when he got the symbiote, if he would have just been unable to change back and just become like a senseless monster that couldn't talk or whatever, I think that would have been better.
Right.
That way there is nothing but the Carnage. But like you can't do that when you're trying to have a star do it. And like that means Woody Harrelson would only be in the movie about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
um but then like there are so many comic lines where Cletus and Carnage don't say we, they say I, because of how twisted they are, and they're more symbiotic than Venom in a lot of the comics.
Oh, in virtually all of them. And that kind of takes away in this movie,
Yeah, when they're
which
unsymbiotic.
yeah. Part of the thing about Carnage is he's always stronger than Venom
Mm-hmm.
due to his symbiotic relationship with his host, his abilities
That
themselves.
and being the offspring.
Yes. But in the movie it's just it it just feels like they downplayed
They
Carnage.
it just doesn't help with all the restrictions.
But at the same time, I understand where Sony's
I
coming from.
I think we got the best version of a PG-13 Carnage we could get.
Well, not only that, but Carnage is in all sense of the matter unkillable.
Yeah.
So it's a the route they took is a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why they did it, but
I feel like just because as being Spider-Man fans, I feel like we were expecting a lot more.
especially knowing the two characters.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Especially like growing up on like the '90s Spider-Man cartoon and seeing that run of Carnage,
mm-hmm.
that was amazing. Let me get this. It's like I said, it's an interpretation. Is it what I would choose? No, but
Could we come up with a better version? Maybe.
I feel like if we were unrestricted and we had all the money in the world, sure. We could do what's that one story arc, Planet Carnage or whatever, where he like gains control of like the hive mind or whatever.
Something like that.
That would be an amazing comic to adapt. Would it be completely impossible?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Animated movie. Sorry, I got my headphones stuck there. All right. Are we ready to get in production tales?
I think so.
All right. As we all know from the last season when we covered Venom, Venom had a long and arduous production.
Mm-hmm.
It went through like 4 or 5 different iterations over the course of at least 10 years. Um, but as I stated in that episode, Carnage was supposed to be the original antagonist. During pre-production, the creative team decided not to include the character so they could focus more on building up Venom and Eddie's character. Because, as everybody knows, Carnage usually does steal the show in whatever he's in.
Yeah.
Because he's more interesting, and he's just
More.
yeah. Director Ruben Fleischer felt that leaving Venom's most formidable villain for a sequel would give the franchise a place to go and would be the natural next step. So Carnage's alter ego, Cletus Kassady, was, as we mentioned, introduced in a post-credit scene with Woody Harrelson and Eddie meeting him for an interview.
Yes.
And they obviously did that with the full intent of Carnage being the sequel. Fleischer wanted to cast Woody Harrelson in the role, feeling there was a natural connection between the character and Harrelson's performance in the film Natural Born Killers, and asked Harrelson while the pair were discussing a sequel for their Zombieland sequel. So pretty much, Woody, Woody was pretty much Carnage before the movie even got started.
Hey, if that tells you he did good at acting before a role, if that doesn't tell you that, I don't think anything will.
Tom Hardy, who portrays Venom for dinner, Harrelson agreed to take the part. So pretty much all three of them were like, "Hey, you're Carnage, bro." Okay, before we go any further, who do you think would have made another good Carnage?
Being put on the spot like this, no one comes to mind.
Okay, how about this? When we get to the questions, I'll ask you again. So maybe in like the back of your mind, just kind of like rummage through who plays a good psychopath.
Right.
um, Harrelson described it his decision as a roll of the dice since he was unable to read the first script or the sequel before signing the first film. So that means he was like, "You're gonna get those. You have this role, but you don't know what you're gonna be doing."
Oh, great.
Could you imagine signing that contract and be like, "So, where's the script?" "Oh, you don't get it. At least not for another 2 years." Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'd be on the fence then.
In August of 2018, ahead of Venom's release, Hardy confirmed that he had signed on to star in 2 sequels. At the end of November in 2018, Sony gave an October 2nd, 2020 release date to an untitled Marvel sequel that was believed to be Venom 2, which would place the film in the same release time frame as the first Venom. Box office analysts believe Venom had been successful enough to guarantee a sequel would be made. The writer of the first film, Jeff Pinkner, confirmed in December 2018 that a sequel was happening, but he was not involved in writing it. Fleischer reiterated this, saying he could not discuss a sequel, but he saw the first film as Eddie and Venom coming together, so there's a natural evolution from that to that, where a sequel would be like, okay, now it's like to live together. It's like a romantic sort of relationship, stated Fleischer. You can kind of
No.
see. Okay, I I remember watching a bunch of reviews for Let There Be Carnage when it first came out, and almost every reviewer was like, bromance, buddy cop. Like, it's more of a buddy cop than a bromance.
Yeah.
They really can't stand each other. Okay, more like Eddie can't stand Venom. Venom's just like, "I love you, Eddie." Sorry for that butchering of a Tom Hardy impression.
Never again.
I won't do it again until we do The Dark Knight Rises. Then I can do my Bane impression.
No.
In January, Kelly Marcel signed a significant deal with Sony to write and produce the sequel after also working on the first film's script. This marked the official beginning of work on the film for the studio and was revealed alongside confirmation of Avi Arad, Matt Tolmach, and Amy Pascal. Lovely people. Lovely people who just love making Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man returning as producers. Hardy and Harrelson were also expected to return for this sequel, obviously, along with Michelle Williams in the role of Eddie's ex-fiancée, Anne Weying. No director was confirmed, with Sony considering replacing Fleischer due to his commitments to Zombieland Double Tap. Like, I understand that. I feel like if Ruben had stayed, I think that if Ruben would have stayed, um, I think the movie would have been better, because I feel like then there would have kind of been that continuity.
Right.
Because, like, I'm not saying Andy did a bad job directing this movie at all. It's a beautiful movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But like, and like, I do think it helped by him being so prominent in the mocap world and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that let them go more in the CGI.
Right.
Because like right now he just started working on Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, and he's directing that film. And like it's going to be very CG heavy.
Right.
He's even admitted like they're using AI, but they're using it to de-age characters, and that is the only thing they're using it for.
So like a deep fake.
Yes, he's essentially doing what they did for Dial of Destiny. That is because he hates AI otherwise. But like I said, he's a good director. But I think Ruben understood the assignment with the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like he would have continued that assignment very well into this one. By the end of July of 2019, Sony hoped for filming to begin that November, and had met with several candidates to replace Fleischer as director since he was still completing work on Double Tap. Directors studio met with include Andy Serkis, who obviously got the job, and I'm really excited about this name, Travis Knight.
Is that someone we've covered on the show already?
No, but he directed a movie we saw recently.
Masters of the Universe?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
If he would have directed this movie, it would have felt like the 80s Spider-Man cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
but it just would have been very Venom-centric.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that would be better or worse.
I feel like in the sense of like, if you watch 1 and 2 together, I feel like it wouldn't be good.
Mm-mm.
But if you would have just watched Let There Be Carnage, I honestly think it would have been a superior movie.
Probably.
Because like he understands things like that. Because he made Bumblebee too.
Oh, Bumblebee was a good one.
So like he understands the assignment with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would have got a much stronger movie if Travis would have made this movie. But we got what we got. Excuse me. And Rupert Wyatt. I don't know who Rupert Wyatt is. I don't know if I've ever heard of him before.
I can't say I have.
Sony was also interested in Rupert Sanders directing the film, but that didn't work out. I don't know if I've ever heard of him either. But Serkis confirmed at the start of August that he had discussed the project with Sony and potentially something might happen. Serkis was hired that August, partly due to his experience working with CGI and motion capture, as both an actor and a director. Soon after hiring, Serkis and Hardy had been working closely with Marcel in the screenplay, which is centered around their take. Marcel explained that she and Hardy spent months developing ideas for the film, which is the first time he received a story credit on the project, before she then spent 3 months writing the screenplay herself. Fleischer said he was happy to let Serkis take over the franchise following the negative critical reaction that the first film received. That's a lot of people forget that it was a bomb. The first one,
Mm.
Like, it wasn't like a box office bomb. It's just like everybody, the critics hated it, and everybody else loved it.
Well, the critics always suck.
We're right, we're right.
The critics always give some of the best movies the worst reviews.
I think that's an accurate uh, sentence there, my good friend. Um, which is the first time you're. Sorry, I lost my place. Thank you very much
You're
for that.
welcome. You're welcome. I will do it again.
And so they wanted to make a crowd pleasing movie, and I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially due to biases against Sony towards Marvel Studios' rival superhero films, by the time Serkis was hired, Hutch Parker had joined the sequel as a producer, a friend of Sony Pictures chairman Tom Rothman. Parker previously served as a producer for several Marvel based films during their run in 20th Century Fox. So he pretty much produced X-Men movies.
Hey, the X-Men movies weren't bad.
Pre-production started in September of 2019, which included the hiring of Reed Scott, who is Dr. Dan.
Okay.
Honestly, I haven't seen The
The
Last
Last
Dance
Dance?
yet. Does it feel empty without Anne and Dan?
No.
No?
No, it doesn't.
I think that was one of my big hesitations, because I like the chemistry between Eddie, Ann, and Dan. Like, it's just so funny, this weird triangle, because there is no love there at all, but it still feels like a weird love triangle.
Right. Granted, it's been a while, so I can't fully say if Dan and Annie are in it at all. From
Hmm.
what I understand, they weren't.
I think it's because they left. Eddie left San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, spoiler alert! Sorry.
Oh well.
It's been a few years. We're all right. Um, the character Shriek was expected to appear in the film as the film's secondary villain and a love interest for Carnage, which is because they were adapting the Maximum Carnage
Mm-hmm.
story arc. They looked for many different actresses before Naomi Harris was cast in mid October. Stephen Graham then joined the film as Detective Mulligan by the end of the year. Tolmec said there was a very good chance the sequel could be rated R, following the success of the R rated Joker and the R rated Deadpool film and Logan. However, Tolmec cautioned that the PG 13 rating was of the first Venom film led to that movie's box office success. So they said, hey, no.
I think if it was an R rated, like we've discussed, it definitely would have brought in more.
I think they just need to trust the audience more.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole issue with the Suicide Squad movie. They were like, "Hey, Deadpool did good. Let's make this really dark, gritty movie funny." And so they fired the director of Suicide Squad and hired the people who edited the trailer for Deadpool to finish the movie.
Which the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad is a masterpiece, but that's because James Gunn does James Gunn things.
Um, real quick while we're talking about James Gunn, I heard Supergirl didn't do well at the box
He didn't
office.
direct Supergirl.
Oh, I thought he did.
Mm-mm. The biggest issue with Supergirl, from what I understand, because I haven't seen it yet, is because so they adapted the Woman of Tomorrow story,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I understand, they've abridged it.
Mm,
And I'm gonna say something. They abridged it to hell and back. From what I understand, they got rid of a lot of the emotional stuff, and they completely botched how a lot of the character work is done. And but I hear it's if you like B sci-fi movies,
mm-hmm.
it's great. But also it's Supergirl. She's not an A tier
She's
DC superhero.
yeah, she's not. well known like Superman.
Yeah, like if it was a Wonder Woman movie, I'm sure that'd be different. But like, it's Supergirl. You're not going to get Superman numbers from a Supergirl movie. I hate to
No.
tell you that, especially from such a perfect Superman movie that we got last year.
Oh, that movie was so good.
And you know what? Next year we get to see Man of Tomorrow. And I know, I love that face you're making. I do have some bad news though. Yesterday, Matt Reeves, who directed The Batman, the Robert Pattinson film,
Okay.
he released the first camera test footage of The Batman Part 2. And as we know, it has been delayed several times. It got delayed again.
Why?
I don't know. But now the fifth release date of this movie is now February 2028.
Oh, I can't wait to review that on the podcast. Production Tales is going to be so fun.
I'll let you take that episode.
Absolutely
I'll
not.
take the quick review, man.
No.
The biggest issue has been they haven't had the script finished. Because originally, they were going to turn The Batman Part 2 into 2 movies.
Okay.
They were going to split it into a Part 1 and Part 2. Because, like, Matt Reeves has his entire idea for his trilogy set out. Because it's supposed to be, like, I think he said Part 3 was supposed to take place, like, 10 years after Part 2 or whatever. So, like, he has a vision. But from what I understand, Part 2 is going to be a chunk of a movie. Like
If
enough.
we ever get the movie.
Hey, if Warner Brothers was willing to make 2 movies from one, you know there's something big there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have to wait another 2 years. We've already waited 6, you know.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's one of my favorite Batman movies. I've been waiting for the next one forever, but whatever. I'm gonna smile through it. Tolmec said the biggest lesson learned from the first Venom was that the fans love the relationship between Eddie and Venom. And the sequel would focus more on the 2 characters together because of this. So pretty much they were like, hey, they liked this. Do only this.
Yeah.
And you can tell that's exactly what they told Andy to do. Circus described the relationship as the central love affair of the film and explained that the sequence in the film where Venom goes to a rave and talks about the cruel treatment of aliens uses imagery reminiscent of the LGBTQIA festivals because the sequence is intended to be Venom's coming out party. um okay.
Interesting.
I don't know how to think about that.
To each their own.
Principal photography of the film began November 15th of 2019 at Leavesden Studios in England under the working title Fillmore. Robert Richardson served as cinematographer for the film, reuniting with Circus after they worked together on Breed in 2017. Filming took place at the campus of London's South Bank University in mid-January. Hardy revealed that the filming in England was completed by February 8th. With the production then moving to San Francisco, where the film is set, locations filming continued in the city for several weeks, taking place in neighborhoods including Tenderloin, North Beach, Nob Hill, and Potrero Hill. The Anchor Brewery stood in for the police station, while filming in Nob Hill took place at Grace Cathedral. So that means that cathedral is real.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So is San Francisco.
All of that is true. All of San Francisco is real. This is true. Some filming in San Francisco was impacted by production on The Matrix Resurrections. Could you imagine just being like, you live in San Francisco, you open up your door, this side of the street is filming Venom, and over here you got The Matrix being filmed.
I would hate that. I would cry so badly. And just, come on, guys. I just need to go to the store.
I don't want to have to fight Tom Hardy and or Keanu Reeves to get a gallon of milk. It's not worth it.
It's not fair.
I don't want to have to fight John Wick. It's too scary. Please. And thus DoorDash was born. With certain locations such as roads for driving scenes being unavailable to use. And of course, they had to do some reshoots, and those took place at Pinewood Studios.
Okay.
Post-production.
Yeah, sounds about right.
This is where it gets messy.
Oh, like it hasn't been a mess already.
Oh, no, not at all. It's been smooth sailing up to here. You want to know why this is rough? COVID-19.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Post-production on the film began shortly before many productions were forced to shut down due to COVID-19. With Circus beginning work editing the film in London with the editorial department, once post-production had to be shut down, the film's editor returned to the United States and began working remotely with Circus to finish editing the film. The initial director's cut of the film was 10 or 15 minutes longer than the final runtime, with Circus wanting the film to be shorter than expected to make it a real thrill ride and try to get Carnage's introduction with as little exposition as possible. I don't think there's an issue with that. But I do think, though, with a character that people have been wanting to see on the big screen for as long as what they wanted, because, like, people wanted Venom, but they wanted Carnage more.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. I don't think rushing something like that is smart.
No.
Because especially when you take your script and you make it as iconic as like the Maximum Carnage story arc was, it took 14 issues to complete that story arc. Granted, does that include Spider-Man?
No.
The comic, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's whatever. Carnage carries a lot of that comic.
Carnage carries that comic.
It's
his comic.
Yeah. Carnage carries almost everything he's in. Sony confirmed that in April the film was scheduled to be released October 2nd, 2020, and was intended to keep that release date despite the pandemic. Later that month, the studio moved the film's release to June 25th, 2021. Really stuck to their guns on that one, didn't they? After that date became unavailable due to other COVID-19 delays, Sony also announced the film's title as Venom: Let There Be Carnage. An alternate title that was considered for the film was Venom: Love Will Tear Us Apart.
That's dumb. That one's really dumb.
Named for the Joy Division song Love Will Tear Us Apart.
That's dumb.
Honestly, I wasn't even happy with the Let There Be Carnage title. Honestly, if they would have named it, just the movie Maximum Carnage.
No.
Yeah, because then we would expect like an actual faithful adaptation of the Maximum Carnage.
I think better than Maximum Carnage, Absolute Carnage.
I think that's the story, like I was telling you about, where he gets control of the hive mind. I think that's Absolute Carnage.
I think that name would have worked a lot better, though, for the title.
And, they also had to throw in the name of the title in the movie.
Yeah. I love and hate when they do that.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Because as you know, every time they do it, I point at you and I'm like, they said the thing! They did it!
Do the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, though.
Yeah.
Circus felt the delay in release would give him more time to improve the film's visual effects. and would help ensure that the audience members would be more comfortable going to see the film in theaters. The director was excited to adapt the comic book version of Carnage for the screen. Uh, sure. I'm just curious what comic you read.
Not the right one.
And explained that the symbiotes were designed to reflect their hosts. So he differentiated Venom and Carnage by reflecting Eddie and Cletus.
Cletus?
Cletus?
Cletus.
Cletus.
There you go.
Respectively, through their designs, abilities, and movements. Circus worked with dancers and actors on a motion capture stage to help define the movements of the two characters. And compared Venom to a quarterback who used brute force. For Carnage, Cletus' psychotic personality is shown through his idiosyncratic and off-kilter moments, which they captured that really well with
Sure.
the motion. Oh,
The big words don't mean anything to me.
yeah, that's fair. As well as being able to turn into a mist and create all manner of tendrils, Circus compared fighting Carnage to fighting an octopus.
Yeah, honestly.
The film's mid-credit scene was directed by Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts during production.
Not bad.
In March of 2021, the film's release date was moved back again to September, and then moved a week later to September 24th from its September 17th date. In August of 2021, amidst the SARS-CoV-2 Delta variant of COVID surges in the United States, film delayed it again to October. By the end of the month, Sony was reportedly considering delaying the film to Morbius's release date of January 21st, 2022. Following continued Delta variant surges and low box office returns for the films earlier in August, Variety reported that the studio was not planning to move the film again at that time. But Deadline Hollywood described plans to change the film's release date as the worst kept secret in Hollywood. People making memes of like, it'll just get pushed back again or whatever, I'm sure. Following the release date and box office of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in early September, Sony moved the release date forward 2 weeks to October 1st. And then we got the movie. That was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly just because Sony just kept screwing themselves.
That sounds about right.
All right, Caden, you ready for the money?
Yeah.
Your favorite game. Guess the budget.
I always get it wrong.
This movie had a budget of $110 million.
Okay.
How much did this gross worldwide?
114 million.
It was higher than that.
Oh, okay.
Don't think astronomically high, just think higher.
I'm going to say around the 200 million range.
Higher.
300 million range. Higher?
Higher.
Oh. This is my last guess.
Okay. You can do this.
I'm going to jump. 521.
506.
Oh, come on.
When you said 5, I was like, oh my God, is this the day?
No.
Oh, man. It made $506.8 million worldwide.
Okay, that's not...
It's not a bad return.
No, that's about... a little over 4 times what they put into it.
Mm-hmm. Domestically, it made 213.
Okay.
Internationally, it made 293.
Okay.
Opening weekend, it made $90 million. She made back almost her entire budget in opening weekend.
For some reason, I thought this movie flopped.
I just think it's because we rag on the movie all the time. I
Yeah.
don't think that helps. But like Venom's movies have never been unsuccessful
No.
by any means. They've just been critically unsuccessful. Um, but no, yeah, Venom movies make money because people love the character.
Right.
Um, do I think they would have made more money had they have trusted the process and let Venom be Venom?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we got this nice Tom Hardy trilogy, and I'm proud to watch it all the time. But yeah, I think I think they did a good Venom trilogy. Do I think one of these days we're gonna get something darker? Hopefully.
Uh, Next movie. We might.
I mean like darker. I mean like rated R darker.
Oh.
Like Venom, like Lethal Protector run dark.
Maybe.
We just need Disney to buy Sony. I don't want that to happen, but I think that's the only way it's gonna happen. Because Disney's okay with making R-rated superhero movies now.
Weirdly enough.
It works. They understand the assignment. All right. Anything else we want to add before we get into the movie?
Um, if you haven't seen it, pause the podcast, go watch it. Yeah, same as always.
Yeah. Then rewatch the podcast, then rewatch the movie. The same vicious cycle we've been threatening you guys to do the past few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. You're here for the long ride, right?
I
All right, Caden. Do you want to start us off or do you want me to start us off?
think I'll let you start us off.
Oh,
See how you do it.
see my intro for this week?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We go to St. Estes School. Yeah. Thank you. I don't have to rip off James A. Janice anymore or any other movie podcaster.
May I make a little correction?
Sure.
It was a very good start, but I would say instead of just we go to James or the St. Esther's school,
Mhm.
I would say the camera opens up to a slow zoom in of St. Esther's School for the Reformed.
Okay. See that? It's a learning experience every episode. By the
Why
time the show ends, we'll be perfect.
why am I giving you tutorials on how to open to a movie?
I don't know. It's like a new thing, I guess.
You've seen more than me though.
Eh. It's your way with words, man.
Oh yeah. How I use big words without even knowing the meaning of them sometimes.
Yeah. Giggity. um.
No.
Sorry, we're Simpsons fans here, not Family Guy
No.
fans.
You're a Simpsons fan and you're welcome for that.
Here, thank you. I do appreciate it. But no, we are at St. Estes School for the Reformed. It is 1996.
Mhm.
And we meet a young Cletus Kassady
Mhm.
and Francis Barrison. They are psychos.
Yep. Plain and
It's-
simple.
Yeah, it's Cletus gives her a rope ring and claims that she is his one bright light.
I I think it looked more like a rag, like a really small.
The other thing I
rag.
really didn't like is they had this young actor and they made Woody Harrelson do the voice for him.
Mm-hmm.
That was very weird. Because like you see this guy doing a very intense acting, and all you hear is Woody Harrelson.
Which I mean, I kind of understand that.
I-
If it's around like the, sorry, if it's around like the 20-30 range, like Cletus should be, realistically, a grown adult's voice doesn't change hardly at all.
Right.
But even still, that's no, even roughly 20 years later, it would still be about the same.
I do find it interesting that they didn't make the adult Shriek do the Shriek's voice. They just wanted to put Woody in as much as they possibly can.
That way they could justify his price.
Yeah, something like that. Um, but Frances is being taken from St. Estes.
Hmm.
We don't really know where she's going, but they're transporting her somewhere else.
She is a mutant, isn't she?
Uh, I
Technically?
They don't really say in the comics. I think she's a mutant because I think she's an X-Men character in the comics. But otherwise, I'm not really familiar with the Shriek character.
Well,
She only really appears in Maximum Carnage, from what I understand. Um,
let me look it up real quick while you
okay.
continue.
But while she is en route, so her powers come. Inhales air and turns it into a sonic blast. And so the person who is transporting her is a young cop named Mulligan.
She is a mutant.
Mm.
Um, she's primarily an enemy of Spider-Man and Venom, known for her sonic-based powers and a role as Cletus's lover and partner in Chaos.
Because like a lot of people don't understand, in the '80s, Spider-Man and the X-Men ran so close together because those were the most popular Marvel comics at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and that was even before like the animated series is in the '90s when even they became even more popular. um, but yeah. So, oh,
Real quick, I'm so glad we got the movie version instead of the comic version of Shriek because
of how she looks.
no,
Oh,
because of her powers.
I know she's much scarier in the comics.
She has sonic manipulation, generates powerful sonic blasts for flight and offense, which there's an X-Men that does that as well.
Oh, Banshee.
Mm-hmm. Dark empathy, which allows her to tap into people's minds to amplify their inner darkness, causing them to act violently. Emotional inducement can induce fear, hatred, and despair. And telekinesis can psionically levitate objects and people.
That just left a real bad taste in my mouth.
That is the comic accurate Shriek.
I'm pretty sure Sony wasn't allowed to use half of that.
No, definitely not the mutant factor either,
No.
because that was still around when Fox was a thing, right?
Mm,
Or
I think it was like right after they got bought because
mm,
Dark Phoenix came out in 2019, I think. So yeah, it was like right after they got bought.
so yeah, using the word mutant probably was a no
Well, and
go.
I'm sure that they couldn't justify giving her all the other powers without making her a mutant.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you just have a lady who just has really strong vocal cords.
and she does.
Yeah, because they don't even give her an origin story for her powers. She just has them.
There is, well, spoiler alert or spoiler warning for later on, but they do say in a scene that her powers were growing stronger.
Mm,
So that might have been something that just kind of popped up.
it's it's a Sony Marvel movie. I feel like I don't have to say anything else. Um, Anywho,
Anyway,
um, on the train on the way to wherever they were going, undisclosed location, um, she gets out and she uses her sonic blast on uh
young,
young Mulligan,
yep.
and she deafens him, and so he shoots her in the eye,
Hmm.
assumed to be dead. Then we transport to Ravenscroft, famous location for Spider-Man fans. It's pretty much like where all the scientists keep all the supervillains and stuff in the comics and the
Hmm.
TV shows or whatever.
pretty much the ultimate HQ for Spider-Man villains.
Pretty much, yeah. And it is present day,
Mhm.
and they are throwing around the death sentence for Cletus
Mhm.
because they've been obviously been investigating him for years, but nobody can find the bodies, so they can't formally give him the death sentence because they technically can't prove anything, and also because of probably the psychoticness.
Mhm.
Eddie and Mulligan are talking because Mulligan wants Eddie to interview him again,
Mhm.
and Eddie doesn't want to. But Venom has a different idea. Venom wants to be the big hero.
Venom always wants to be the hero.
And so there, I wrote down Eddie and Venom are having couples issues
Hmm.
because so Eddie, and I like how you worded this. Eddie is the voice of reason
Mhm.
in this movie. Venom is purely a creature of instinct. Eat, fight, and just
Sleep.
sleep. He wants to do whatever he wants. No result of the consequences whatsoever. And Eddie's like, you cannot do that. The reason you haven't been eating anybody is because I say no.
There are rules. We have to follow them.
And we learn later on that they are still kind of under investigation from like the Life Foundation.
Mhm.
So that's like another major reason why Eddie hasn't been letting him out to do lethal protector stuff. But he agrees, and Cletus and Eddie have another meeting. And so this sequence is kind of very much like a Silence of the Lambs, like quid pro quo. You do this for me.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
There you go. Yeah.
Don't use these terms I don't understand.
Man tell man thing for information.
I give rock, you give knowledge.
You give me rock, I give you fire.
Oh,
Fi.
I give you big rock for big fire.
That reminds me of Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Like me, Chief, want big fire.
Hmm.
um, but no, he wants to essentially give like a short memoir, like a little message or whatever. And in turn, Cletus said he would give Eddie whatever he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gives a poem to Eddie to publish. And on their way out, Venom tells Eddie to look at Cletus's room. He has his walls covered in like scratched art and stuff.
It's very, I want to call it like schizophrenic scribbling.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just passing by, you're gonna think, "Oh, that doesn't look right."
But to Detective Venom, he sees all. Apparently.
Yeah, Venom's actually really smart in this movie.
Um, but we learn that this message was for Francis. For Francis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Do
then
you have the message written
I
down?
do not. I
Yeah,
know it. They repeat so much of it throughout the movie because, like I said, his one bright light,
the chapel on in the
the yeah,
darkness,
the
or
cathedral on the hill or
mm-hmm.
whatever, things like that. But it yeah, it's very jokery,
It
very
every small part of it makes sense later on,
yeah,
but it just it's a poem with like 4 lines of nonsense.
yeah.
Like I'm not gonna try and make sense of that. I'll just not write it down.
And we're back at Eddie's apartment, and Venom essentially solves the entire case by breaking down the drawings on his wall,
Mm-hmm.
and he pretty much like just slaps Eddie in the face with all the information. It's like, this is mystery solved. Ooh.
Which is actually really cool to see.
I did love this sequence because I love how dumb Eddie plays. He's like, "What is this? No, it's a tree."
And the entire time, like, Venom is taking over
Eddie's
Eddie's
hands.
Eddie's yeah, his hands to scribble all these drawings down, and eventually it gets to the point where Venom has to type stuff, and Venom just forms his little black inky hands, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks cool.
Another thing I just kind of thought about like how quickly we get into this story.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if this movie was just like tacked on to like be like a bigger second half of like this and Venom being one big movie, I feel like a movie would flow better.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like honestly, because the movie just starts so quickly, it just feels like it's just like the next part of a big Venom movie
Mm-hmm.
instead of like there being any like really build up or whatever for this movie. I just happened to think about that. I was like, dude, we're already 10 minutes into this movie and we're already solving the Cletus Kassady murders. Okay. Um, but Eddie's career improves. He doesn't become as big of a big shot as he did when he was on TV, but like he's kind of a rising star again. And Venom wants to be a hero.
I think they want to be a hero in their own right.
Yeah, because Eddie wants to do Eddie things. He wants to be a hero like the right way.
He wants to give the truth to the people.
And Venom wants to be
The
a lethal
lethal protector.
protector, which is his name in the comics. And I lost my mind when they started using it so loosely in this movie.
Wait, his name was actually the lethal protector?
His debut name was Venom, the Lethal Protector.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, we're going there.
That's cool.
Solid. um, but we also meet Eddie's roommates, chickens,
Yeah, I didn't write their names down.
Sonny and Cher,
Ah.
because Venom needs, and I'm not 100% sure if this is real or not, he needs phenylethylamine,
I think
which,
it is a real thing.
but
I
it is found in brains and in chocolate.
You know what? I'll look that up real quick.
So Venom requires, that's why he eats heads. He needs brains. But Eddie's like, no, 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 no. You don't get human brains. You can have chicken brains. But Venom grew too attached to these specific chickens, so now they're their pets. Is it
Oh,
true?
it's a real thing.
Oh, wow.
Kind of.
Oh, Lord.
The chemical is phenyl phenylethylime, or PEA,
Mm.
often dubbed the love chemical.
Oh, Lord.
PEA is naturally produced by the brain to boost focus. It is also highly concentrated in both chocolate and human brains.
Oh.
Which, this little note here, which is famously why the Marvel character Venom craves both.
Oh, God.
So it's a real thing, which that's cool to think about.
Yay, they're using real science in Venom movies. That's fantastic. Um, but so we need chocolate. Caden, who is the best chocolate dealer in town?
Mrs. Chang.
I mean, Mrs. Chen.
It's Chen?
Yes.
I had it down as Chang.
Why do you think I always make the joke of Chenum?
Because you're dumb.
That's a part of it. Yes. Um. But we go to Mrs. Chen and we learn that Venom protects her, and in turn, she gives them chocolate. So she's essentially his chocolate drug dealer.
Quite literally. He's only in it for the
Choc-
drug.
He's only in it for the chocolate, man. but the shipment's not in.
And this angers
He's like,
Venom.
I will eat Mrs. Chen. And he, this is Venom talking in Eddie's head. And he's like, you will not eat Mrs. Chen. And she's like, what?
Which, something I like but find weird is Venom can talk to Eddie internally, but Eddie cannot talk to Venom internally.
I know, right?
So Eddie's often talking out loud to talk to Venom.
Totally looks like a schizo.
Oh, absolutely. But it makes for some really good moments.
Dude, I think that's part of the reason why I love Tom Hardy is as Eddie, because he can play a guy that's just completely just gone and
Hmm.
try so hard to be there, but there's just no chance that he ever will be. Um but since there's no chocolate, Venom goes to a chicken stock place, and he's forced to eat chickens. And he hates it as he like pulls like the feathers out of his teeth. He's like, this is so degrading.
Hmm.
And he's like, we should be protecting people lethally. Literally hammering in the lethal protector name in this movie.
Hmm.
It's like dropped like 3 or 4 times.
Oh
It,
yeah.
I love it, but like after a while I was like, oh god. They should just name the movie Lethal Protector at this point.
Then everybody would go in thinking it's something brand new.
Not the Venom fans. um but Venom sees a mugger and he tries to eat him and he freaks the lady out. She's like, "Oh, oh."
Yeah. Which actually, thinking about it, when Venom's on the outside, Eddie talks internally.
Mhm.
They end up swapping, and I just now realized that. I think that's cool.
um but no, Venom goes into like this whole spiel is like, "I will eat your head and I will take it to that bowling place. Eddie, what is the name of that bowling place?" He's like, "It's called Lucky Strike." He's like, "Yes, we will go to Lucky Strike and I will win a 300-point game." He's like, "No, you won't. Please don't do this."
And finally, Venom just gets fed up and throws the guy
Like
30 feet.
into a dumpster.
He smacks against the wall and falls into a dumpster.
And then Eddie's like, she didn't want our help. And Venom's like, no, she didn't know she needed our help. And then they're jumping across rooftops, and Anne calls, and Venom's like, oh my gosh, Anne is calling. And he just like leaves him while Eddie's sliding across a rooftop, about to just fall off and die.
Which I wrote this down. Venom is the best wingman.
Eddie and Anne invites Eddie to dinner.
Ooh.
And the only thing Venom wants is for Eddie and Anne to be together. Because I'm sure being stuck in Eddie's head with, man, I messed up. I miss my ex. All the time. I'm sure that's just a lovely TV show to rerun in somebody's head.
I'm sure that's not all he thinks about. I'm sure he's thinking about the fact that there's an alien living inside his body.
That or I must have motorcycle. I must have big screen TV. Because literally, Eddie bought like a $2,000 TV, and he's like the most proudest thing he's ever had. He's like, "You will not touch my TV." So Eddie and Ann go to dinner. Caden, are they getting back together?
Absolutely not. No, 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 no. Anne immediately puts her hand on the table to show a massive diamond ring.
And he's like, "Whoa, that's bigger than the one I got you." Okay.
Yeah, Anne pretty much just crushes any idea of her and Eddie getting back together, and she does it in the most brutal way possible.
In person.
In person.
And like going to like their favorite dinner spot.
Mm-hmm.
um Anne doesn't know Venom's still alive. at this point. And I do love how Eddie has to take moments in conversations because he essentially has two people just barking in his ears.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, he only answers one, and she's like, "What?" And then she's like, "Oh, wow." And so she essentially just tells Venom to take care of him.
Yeah.
And then Eddie leaves. And then I wrote down Eddie wants to die.
I wrote Eddie is depressed.
Well, because like how he acts. Because like he's essentially upset at Venom. He blames Venom for everything he did that's happened to him.
Yeah.
Even though Eddie messed up months before he met Venom.
Mm-hmm.
So like he tries to like drive into cars, but Venom is a preserving creature.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't let him. And I like how touching Venom gets in this part. He's like, "I wish I could help mend the heart, but put on your big boy pants."
Again, Venom is the ultimate wingman.
And then we cut to breakfast. Caden, I'll let you take breakfast.
Oh, this scene is chaos.
Incarnate.
So, pretty much, Eddie the next morning is still
Depressed.
absolutely something like that you wouldn't get over in just one night. And Venom realizes this. So, he decides to make Eddie the best breakfast ever.
The best bud breakfast, we're going to call it.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Venom is not coordinated when he's stuck inside Eddie's body.
And he's only doing like 20 different tasks at once.
Yeah, I mean, he does them. He succeeds at doing them to a degree.
Because like Eddie's just standing at his counter in a bathrobe, just looking like death washed over. And you just see like 10 tentacles out of his back just making different breakfasts.
We got stuff going in blenders, tentacles reaching into the fridge and freezer.
While Venom has a radio turned on and he cranks it up and he starts singing along in Eddie's head.
And something that I really liked is Venom's even cooking on the stove and a fire erupts and you see all the tendrils just kind of shrink back. It's a really fun scene. And he actually cooks stuff.
Mm-hmm. He even
He,
go gets the mail.
yeah. At the end of this scene, because there's a little conversation before it, we see Venom sit down two, I'd say, foot tall plates of food.
Bacon, eggs, pancakes. I think there might be even been a smoothie. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh,
There could have been.
absolutely. It's like,
I would eat this breakfast.
I would too. Yeah, so what if the smoothie has eggshells in it?
It's
So what
roughage.
if
It's roughage.
So what if somehow the bacon's undercooked while the sausage is overcooked? Oh well, it's the thought that counts.
Honestly, floppy bacon's my favorite.
I do prefer it chewy with a little bit of crunch.
I don't want my bacon to turn to powder as soon as I bite into it.
That kind of bacon's good on a sandwich.
That's good for that, or you turn that bacon into bacon bits for a
Mhm.
salad.
Mhm.
That's gonna usher in our new food podcast. Real Bros Cooks.
No,
Be the
No.
new Emerald Lagasse. Bam.
I don't know who that is, but no.
Oh man, you're so young. I'm only 3 years older than you, but you're still so young.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Grandpa.
I'm 26. I'm not 80. That'll be next year.
Grandpa. But
um,
do you remember what the conversation was that because Eddie got a phone call.
no, he gets a letter.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Eddie gets a letter or postcard, sorry, from Cletus Kassady.
And it's just as schizophrenic as his room.
He literally writes the letter in a circle
Around the outside of the
the,
post-it stamp.
on both sides.
Yup.
And it's essentially breaking down Cletus's backstory. And I love the animation.
Oh, it's
It's
beautiful.
it's this schizophrenic, hand drawn 3D cartoon.
There's a game that it very much reminds me of. Don't Starve.
Yes, Don't Starve is a very good
So
reference point.
Don't Starve is this kind of hand drawn art style in a very gritty
Mm-hmm.
environment, and it reflects very well as a starting point for what that backstory scene is.
And I also like how, like, in the middle of it, is you just have Eddie sitting at his coffee table reading the post-it note, and then there's like a camera rotation,
Hmm.
and then as they rotates, you see Cletus sitting at the table with him as he's writing the note, and he's just like, and they're just like looking at each other. I
For,
thought it was
for
in
for clarification, they're not actually sitting at the same table.
no, it's I I think this I like this
It's very cool.
because I do think that this movie tries to hit home that they are opposites,
Hmm.
but they are also similar in so many different ways because of how broken the two of them are.
Hmm.
But I also think it's just trying to get Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson to be in as many scenes together as they can. Because it's Venom versus Carnage.
Yeah, Venom versus Carnage, not two 40, 50-year-old dudes duking it out.
Honestly, that probably would have made more money. um, but essentially, at the end of it, the whole letter is an invitation to his death sentence.
Hmm.
Because they found the bodies, they gave him the death sentence.
Thanks to Eddie and Venom.
Mm-hmm. And Venom says he shouldn't go because that guy's a psychopath.
Hmm.
And Eddie's like, I mean, I put him there. So,
Which, should we go into his backstory or just kind of do a quick rundown?
essentially, Cletus was abused by his family.
Hmm.
So he killed his family.
I
And
think
so
from the story, the only one he didn't kill
is his
between,
father.
yeah, because he had a grandma, his mom, his
And then,
dad, and a dog.
yeah. And so he was sent to St. Estes. So I'm going to assume his dad is dead because
Old
of the
age, yeah.
um and so he's sent to the reform school, and he was bullied there, and the only person who took care of him was Shriek.
Hmm.
And so that again, he references the one bright light, the
Hmm.
angel.
Hmm.
The angel in that hell, I think is how he worded it. Um but yeah. So other than that, he's invited to his death sentence. Um, Eddie says he shouldn't go. Venom says he shouldn't go. Eddie wants to, and this kind of starts the rift
Hmm.
that is like the main conflict between the two of them for like the middle part of the movie. Um, and so we're at the prison. Cletus is having his last meal. Eddie's interviewing, quote unquote, interviewing him. He has an audio recorder, and Cletus essentially attacks Eddie. He's like, "You and I are the same." And he talking about how when Eddie was born, it killed his mother, and his dad blamed him for it. And Venom got protective and just attacks him.
Yeah,
And so then Cletus grabs Eddie's hand and bites it.
because Eddie was trying to get the recorder back.
I think Eddie was just trying to get free or whatever. I'm not really sure what was happening there.
No, because he manages to get Venom off.
Yeah.
So,
And so Eddie, Cletus has some of Eddie's blood on his lips. And so Eddie essentially gets kicked out, and Cletus eats the blood. And he's like, I have tasted blood before, and that is not it. Eddie Brock has a big secret.
which of course nobody believes Cletus.
because it's
He,
Cletus Kassady.
he's a psychopath.
um, and before he eats the blood, you see a little tendril come out of the blood.
And I like this effect because I don't know if you know what this is. It looked very similar to ferrofluid,
Yeah.
which is in real life it's this magnetic
Mm-hmm.
liquid that when you put a magnet around has this starts to get very pointed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it resembled, and I
Yeah.
like that.
But Eddie goes home, and they essentially have a couples fight.
A couples fight or domestic abuse?
It's both. I'm not going to go into this whole thing because there's just so much each of them talk about or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, Eddie and the Venom head that comes out of his shoulders have a fist fight.
Which Venom absolutely destroys Eddie in.
He throws all of his stuff out. He breaks his TV. Then Venom leaves.
Like, not just as Eddie, he separates from Eddie.
And then Eddie finally has peace and quiet. But then Venom destroys his dude motorcycle. And then Venom begins to hop bodies, which is like a half an hour of this movie.
It's really cool to think about.
It is, but also think about how many innocent people did he technically kill?
More than he needed to. Because, unfortunately, nobody was a compatible host for Venom.
Oh.
Except for one, but we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, Venom's got a couple compatible hosts.
Yeah. Kind of.
Kind of, sort of, in the moment.
Yeah. Long term, no.
Long term, he's only got one.
Yeah. But it cuts back to San Quentin, and uh, Cletus is being given the poison. Caden, a red liquid stops the poison from entering the bloodstream. What is this?
Cletus's blood.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's Carnage.
Well, what?
So when Cletus took a little chunk out of Eddie's hand, that little bit of blood was also mixed with venom, which then becomes the offspring, Carnage.
I do like the idea of maybe because the poison, one of the tubes did enter his body.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if some of Carnage is made of cyanide or the poison.
Mm,
Because I feel like in one of the comics they angle on something like that. Because Carnage is the perfect monster created by so many different things at once.
I know there's an actual poisonous or toxic,
Yeah, toxin.
yeah, but I think Venom doesn't have anything like that,
Mm-mm.
like a poison.
No, but yeah, Carnage is born, kills a bunch of people, escapes prison. Literally, just he causes carnage. What more can you say?
Which, real quick, this is a fun little fact about Carnage and this explains why he's unkillable in the comics. Carnage and Cletus are one person.
Mm-hmm.
Carnage is Cletus's blood.
Yep.
The only way you can kill them both is to destroy everything. If even a single drop of blood comes back, or even a single drop of blood is left behind, they both come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true for most iterations of Carnage.
I mean, I think that they hold that to a point here.
in the movie.
Mhm. They hold it to a degree.
Definitely not
They-
Carnage being Cletus's blood.
no, but they definitely try to implicate that, like the first half of the Carnage stuff.
Yeah,
But Eddie's cleaning up his apartment and he learns that Cletus has escaped.
from Mulligan.
Yes, because he wants information or whatever. Because Mulligan doesn't trust him,
Right, which is understandable.
and so Eddie essentially sets out to find Cletus. And I don't know what he's trying to do when he finds Cletus. He doesn't exactly have superpowers anymore.
I think he's just trying to figure out
What Cletus wants.
what he's currently up to.
But after we do this, we get Rave Venom.
And this scene is really interesting because it first shows up as a guy throwing up on the floor. It's like, oh, that guy's partying too hard. Oh, no, that's just Venom. He just killed that guy. Sent him on vacation.
Yeah, not even a
And
good vacation.
yeah, yeah. But
You'll be
Venom,
you'll be throwing up and uh, pooping black goo for a while.
oh yeah, for a long while.
I don't want that kind of vacation. Um,
But Venom is, host hopping again and ends up coming on a host that lasts a little bit longer. I would say like 10 minutes. And this is where the whole
speech thing.
uh-huh,
We're not going to repeat it. One because I don't remember it, but like it, we went into enough of it in production tales.
pretty much just I'm free to be myself now because I left my oppressor behind.
Yeah.
And then,
Honestly, after reading production tales, all I can hear is Venom's coming out speech now. That's all I hear when I think about it.
and then after that little speech, Venom with his new host goes outside and the host just collapses.
Yep. He's like, I wish you would have seen me tonight, Eddie. You would have been proud.
Which shows that Venom still cares.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie doesn't care as much yet.
But then we get Eddie at St. Estes,
Mm-hmm.
and we find a tree. We see CK Heart FB.
Mm-hmm.
And so Eddie calls Mulligan, and he's like, I think I have something. He's like, who is this? He's like, that'd be Frances Barrison. She's dead. Oh, is she?
No, not yet. Or she was, but now she's not. They don't they don't really explain
Pretty much, I'm pretty sure she just
how.
got a messed up eye, and they just transported her to Ravenscroft and just never told
No,
anybody.
no. What I don't understand is she was shot. I'm so sorry. She was shot in the eye with the barrel pointing upward
In
into her
close
head.
range.
Yes, that bullet should have absolutely passed through her brain. And maybe that's part of the reason she acts the way she does in the. Hey, this is just theory. That might be why she doesn't talk a whole lot.
It's like the least interesting character of this movie. And there's a few of those. She's there for the sake of people like, hey, Spider-Man character. And even then she's not even a real Spider-Man character.
No.
But Cletus finds Ravens. Do we want to talk about how Cletus finds out about Ravenscroft?
It's real quick. So Cletus ends up stealing what, a 1980 Camaro?
A 1960 Camaro.
Uh,
Mustang, sorry, Mustang.
he ends up stealing a 1960 Mustang, and he drives to a convenience store where he sees a guy on a computer, So he hops up on the counter and just kicks the guy in the head.
Then stomps his head in behind the counter.
And he's like, now, do you have one of these internet things?
And Carnage's fingers just turn into Ethernet cables and just searches the web for Shriek.
Which is really cool because that's another comic detail. At one point, Carnage goes into the internet, physical form and all, through a computer. He enters the internet.
Carnage is way too overpowered.
But something else that's interesting is Carnage manages to bypass all the security details needed to get into the Ravencroft website.
I just think that's plot.
Which, granted, if he can go into the computer like he does, I'm sure there's no restrictions.
Right.
So,
But no, Carnage find Cletus and Carnage find Ravenscroft.
Mhm.
They pretty much do the exact same thing they did at San Quentin. They break out Francis, mass chaos. I will say I do like the car sequence
oh, it was
outside Ravenscroft.
beautiful.
Tendril action to the max, I will say. Cuz like they do I would say this is one of the most heavy CGI sequences in the movie. Besides the final fight, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
um
It's so cool, though.
they definitely try to show off how Carnage
Powerful.
and like how just like how endless Carnage can be.
Oh, yeah.
Um
Because Carnage wraps himself around several trees, at least 100 feet in the distance, supporting himself on the building, the trees, a broken statue. He lifts himself, Cletus, Shriek, and the car up
mhm.
and supports it like a spider web.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see.
And Shriek tries to use her powers, and this is when we get the start of Carnage hating Shriek.
Mm-hmm. Because as we know, 99% of all symbiotes share the same weakness of fire and sound.
Mhm. Then it cuts to Mrs. Chen's store, and what she thinks is a drug addict just stumbling into her store dying,
Throwing up all over the place.
and it's Venom.
Yep.
Then it cuts to Mulligan invading Ravenscroft, and he learns about Francis Barrison. And then it cuts to Eddie being interrogated by Mulligan.
Well, we also gotta state that Mulligan is traumatized by Shriek.
Yeah, he has to wear hearing aids and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because when um Eddie was going to
Saint Estes.
Saint Estes to find that tree, hearing Francis's name sent him into a panic attack
Yeah,
because of what she did to him.
she like destroyed his eardrums.
She was like a foot away from him, screaming at her
Max.
full volume.
Yeah.
And in the cutscene, not the cutscene, sorry, in the flashback, you physically see his ears start to bleed from the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And so Eddie asked for his one phone call. Caden, who does he call?
a little reporter by the name of Peter Parker.
No, he calls Ray's Occult Books. Cut to Dan Aykroyd.
No, he calls the only person he
Trusts.
fully,
I
which
mean,
is
really knows. He's not exactly a social person.
Anne or
and
Annie.
and so he tells her to find Venom
Mhm.
because at this point Eddie learns that Cletus has a symbiote. He's like, I need him. I can stop all this, but I need him. And so she goes to find Venom. And her and Dan set out to find Venom. And I love how Dan's like, they're not going to be any aliens this time, right? She's like, no, of course not.
Several aliens later.
I love how 5 minutes later, when they go to Mrs. Chen's store, she automatically realizes that Venom is inside Mrs. Chen.
Yeah, because Mrs. Chen is kind of this like cold-hearted individual to Eddie.
But now she's like like sarcastic and cold hearted.
And with knowing the fact that Annie has been around Mrs. Chen before due to the connection of Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
Annie would absolutely know something's off.
And then you just see like Venom's eyes come on Mrs. Chen's face, and this is where I created Chenum. It's my own inside joke. I don't care if you like it or not. It's my inside joke. It's mine.
Dumb! But I loved it.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
But no, I wrote down Chenum versus Dan because he's like, "You told me there weren't going to be any aliens." He's like, "Shut up, Dan." Dan is the person who gets slapped around the most in this movie, and I love it because he was the most pure person in the last movie.
He doesn't do anything wrong, really.
He's even helpful, but he still gets slapped around like he's the joke. But no, to convince Venom to help Eddie, and like flirts with Venom, and Dan's like, "I'm right here."
It's a very awkward scene to see.
And I love how Venom's like, "No one's talking to you, Dan." And Dan's like, "What?" Okay. But it cuts to Saint Estes being burned to the ground by Francis and Cletus,
As it happens.
and they each want one person at their wedding. Carnage wants Venom, Cletus wants Eddie, and Francis wants Mulligan.
So the package deal wants a package deal.
Pretty much.
Sounds about right.
um, but Anne breaks Eddie out, and Venom wants an apology. I love this scene. This scene is so funny. Is essentially Eddie has to beg for Venom's forgiveness. And Dan is just in the car watching like this schizophrenic, whatever you want to call this.
The schizophrenic stage play.
Yeah. And I love how you just hear Venom like thinking, and Anne's like, hmm. But no, it's a really funny scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then Venom, as Anne hugs Eddie, and then he's like, "Are you gonna kiss me again?" She's like, "God, no, I'm not doing that ever again. Maybe. I'm not sure." And then she gets back in the car, and Eddie's like, "Dan, get you guys out of town, and if at all possible, fire and sound." Dan's like, "What is that, a band?" She's like, "No, it's what kills them." He's like, "Is there any other valuable information people aren't telling me?" And then Eddie's like, "Dan, you're a good man." He shakes his hand, then Venom just slaps him in the face. He's like, "I am so sorry." And then as they drive away, Dan's like, "Those two really need couples counseling." I mean, fair.
I think the vast majority of symbiote and host in the Venom movies need couples counseling.
And that's fair. Um, but Mulligan pulls up to Eddie's apartment, and Cletus is out front.
Mm-hmm.
And so, pretty much, Mulligan tries to take him down. Caden, how's that go for Mulligan?
Not very well. Because Cletus is a dirty little cheater, and he uses his power of Carnage to quickly and effectively get the upper hand.
Just like, "I summon the power of Carnage." That'd be terrifying, I'm not gonna lie.
I do want to say, we haven't mentioned this, but I like how both the voices of Venom and Carnage are almost the exact opposite.
Right?
Venom is this loud, bashful, quick talking kind of individual, whereas Carnage is just
Animalistic.
very low, guttural
Mm-hmm.
sounding, but he talks somewhat sophisticatedly.
Mm-hmm. Because like
So,
you can almost say that Cletus is sophisticated, but like there's just so much darkness there. It just it doesn't come out that way.
yeah.
But Anne is kidnapped
By Shriek,
by Shriek,
which is funny because Shriek breaks into the house.
takes Eddie's engagement ring to Anne, and so she sees a picture of Anne, and she's like, "Oh, I bet you can find Brockolicious for me." I don't know why she calls him that.
I don't know.
It's so weird. She literally kicks down his door and she's like, "Oh, Brockolicious!" Like what?
I don't know.
That's not a good '80s one-liner. I'm sorry.
Granted, I also got to think about it like this. There's two things with this version of Shriek. She may have a mental defect now after getting shot.
I feel like, and I don't mean to draw comparisons here because I don't really like doing that, but as I said, Cletus is almost written as a Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Shriek is definitely written as like a Harley Quinn
Right.
in this movie, and I don't really like it because one, it nerfs her, but like that's also because character stuff with Sony or whatever. That's understandable, but like at that point, the character is almost she's not she's almost pointless.
Yeah.
She is only there to make Mulligan be there, and Mulligan is pointless too. Like the whole Shriek, all of the Shriek stuff is almost completely pointless, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it
Mm,
because like while she is a good character to visually watch and see her do things
mm-hmm.
on screen, um I'm just not a big fan of how they went about it because they made her a little bit less than a sidekick, especially with how little she's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like I understand like that's the driving thing for Cletus to break out or whatever. I get that part. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the Shriek stuff.
Something else that I wonder, or that I think about sometimes, is I wonder if Shriek isn't like completely
There.
mentally there or developed because of her time in Ravencroft. Because she was in maximum security prison nearly 24/7 with very limited access to the
Well, and
outside
like you
world.
get on later on in the movie and she even honestly, I think she's more intelligent than Cletus.
Maybe.
Because like when Carnage is doing something, she's like, that's too much. Like she is more human than Cletus, but like that's also not really Cletus.
Yeah.
But like, and like, it's very hard to the third act of this movie is really when it drops
It kind of spirals down.
because like they don't know what they're do to do. They want a big fight. They get that. I do like the fight between Venom and Carnage in this movie. It is choreographed beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything else is like, man, what can we do to make this movie last as long as possible? And that's what they do.
Right.
Like that'd be cool if, and then that's what they do. I don't know, but uh, uh, Shriek tells Dan to go find Eddie, so he does, and Eddie's like, "Hey, buddy, I guess we're going to a wedding." Like, okay, let's do it. So we go to the Grace Cathedral. Beautiful location. I love the set for this movie.
Oh yeah.
And like I this movie is a gothic movie
Mm-hmm.
because like I do think that Andy had in mind a horror movie, especially when dealing with the character they were dealing with. But like Like I said, visually this movie is stunning. But like, yeah, so they have this huge cathedral soundstage. It
Oh
kind of
yeah.
reminds me of Batman '89, like with the ending where like the Joker and Batman are in the church or whatever. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit,
Yeah.
but but no, we get Venom being scared of Carnage.
Because Carnage is a red symbiote, which I guess are extremely dangerous.
So like Venom bursts in, is like, "Where is she?" And then Cletus turns, he's like, "Oh!" And he's like, "Where'd you go?" He's like, "That is a real one. We need to leave right now." It's like, and so like they're having a couples quarrel. He's like, "Dude, I will let you eat everybody. Just come out right now. I feel very exposed."
I will let you eat everybody except for him, the one in the robe,
Sold.
because they do so much respect to the what is it, a minister,
The priest.
priest. They put so much respect for the priest because Carnage at one point says he's going to kill Father.
And the guy's like, "No, please, God, no." And he's like, "Not
Not
you,
you,
father. Him, father."
And it's a funny sequence, and I love
I, lo-
watching
I
it.
love how as soon as he says that, the priest just like goes back to him and is like, "Oh, okay."
Like, I've seen worse.
I've seen, nah, man, this ain't nothing. Like, what?
I was thinking more demons than Nom. What the heck?
I don't know. I don't know if demons or something we could get. I guess we got aliens. I guess we could have demons, I guess.
Yeah,
Just John Constantine just shows up in the background. Just like, "Oh man, I'm in the wrong superhero universe. I'm sorry, mate. Bye."
I'm in the wrong franchise.
that that just cuts back to, it's just somebody got a shot of Keanu Reeves down the street and they put it in the movie. Everybody thinks it's Constantine.
Uh, but like Logan said, the fight scene is magnificent.
Because like they use the entire space.
Mm-hmm.
Because like honestly, they have to. Because there's like two titans of Marvel Comics in the symbiote section of the franchise of the comic world.
I would say Venom is at least 8 feet tall, whereas, but he's like super jacked built.
Carnage is slim and tall.
Yes, but he's
Tendrils.
tendrils, weapons. He's like Riot on steroids. For those of you that remember that
Mhm.
symbiote from the first movie.
Yeah. But yeah, this fight pretty much takes up the rest of the movie. Um, but like we have their side stuff, which is so good. You know, we got Shriek versus Mulligan happening over here. She's chasing him around, trying to kill him,
Which is not really even a fight. Mulligan's just
getting his butt kicked.
because he's traumatized still, which
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah. And then Dan shows up and he lights Carnage on fire. I love how he's like, "Fire and sound, but without the sound."
Dan's such a fun
I
character.
know. I love Reed Scott. He's a hilarious actor. Um, but then we get Cletus versus Eddie.
Yes, because this is around midnight, so the bells
Mm-hmm.
start to ring. And I like to think they took inspiration from the Sam Raimi Spider Man.
Oh yeah, where
Uh,
both
where,
Toph.
go
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Because of there's a scene in a clock tower where the ringing visibly hurts the symbiote, allowing Tobey Maguire's Spider Man to break free from it.
I That was in the '90s series, the cartoon as well.
Might have been.
Because I know that's how it is because that's one of my favorite episodes. Because like the Venom arc was like an entire like 5 or 6 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and so halfway through, because like he's about to kill Shocker, because that's when we get like the meme like, "I'll follow you to the ends of the earth,"
Yep.
and so he's like, "Why would I do that?" And so then he just like starts beating on the clock tower to get it off, and because at that point Eddie has been following Peter around for days because he hates him.
Right.
The Venom stuff in the animated series is great. Just the animated series is great. Um, but
A
like,
lot of the animated series are great.
but like, so Peter in the black suit, like, turn cocoons Eddie and just tapes him to the wall. And so as the symbiote gets off Peter, it just slips down a crack and it just envelops him. And that's how Venom is born
In the movie, right?
in the animated series.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi emulated so much of that for the movie.
Yeah, just without the shocker part.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see like a decent live action Shocker.
Yeah.
Not the Shocker we got from No Way Home, because that was not Shocker.
It's the same shocker from the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Either way, I want a comic accurate Shocker. Shocker's one of his most famous villains. I want a good Shocker.
Green Goblin.
Okay, I said one of. Not his most, one of.
Also, ringing bells has been brought up in so many other forms of media. Like, from what I understand, the campaign of Capcom versus Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole Venom outbreak, and they bring up fire and church bells. But, back to the movie.
Yeah.
Um, every like 10 seconds, the bell rings.
And so it cuts in between Eddie and Cletus versus Carnage and Venom.
And it's so cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. It's not as visually stunning as the Carnage Venom versus Riot fight.
But that's a different kind of stunning.
Yeah, that's also true. I do think though that the CGI in this movie wasn't as strong as the
No.
first one, but I feel like that's also in part to like there was the time and like the pandemic and
Yeah.
but with what they were able to do, they did a good job.
Yes.
Carnage kidnaps Anne again and takes her up the clock tower. And at this point, Venom is like trapped under some rock or whatever, ceiling or something. He's like, I can't do it, Eddie. We're not strong enough. And this is when Carnage and Cletus start to go at it.
Because
Carnage hits Shriek.
yeah, because this is what you were talking about earlier. Carnage is ascending the chapel
And
enveloping
enveloping the
the
chapel.
whole thing. And Shriek is like, this is too much. And so what I think she tries to do is to screech at him to try and depower him,
Mm-hmm.
and he just smacks her.
And this is when Cletus is like, don't you hit my wife. He's like, shut up.
And Eddie forces Venom to look at them and be like,
They're not
compatible.
They're not symbiotic. We are, buddy. He's like, you mean we are the lethal protector? And like I said, get the
Pretty
lethal
much.
protector again in this movie. And so then we get he doesn't really beat him because like, and honestly this part kind of resembles the Amazing Spider-Man 2 where you think Venom is going to drop Anne, but like he just slowly leans her down as he just gets like stabbed like 50 sometimes in his chest.
Because Venom is durable. We gotta give him that.
Oh yeah.
But something else, Carnage did kill the father of the guy to get quote unquote power up.
Oh yeah. That part was so ridiculous. I loved it. And
Which,
not the fact that a priest died, but the comedic sense of that part.
yeah, because that explains why
He was stronger.
Yeah.
Human head.
Because up until that point, the two had mostly been on even ground with each other.
And so Shriek tries to kill both of them. I think I'm gonna guess they don't really, but Venom just punches her into the clock, and it causes both of the symbiotes to to daze. And Shriek falls down the thing, and then the clock falls, and I'm pretty sure Shriek is dead,
She tries to stop it.
but
She's too late. Now, whether it kills her, I have a couple theories on that. Either it could have hit her, like when it smashed into the
mm-hmm,
ground, or her own vibrations
bounced off.
killing her that way.
Either way, Shriek has left the chat.
Yeah, but possibly.
Possibly.
It we don't ever really find out on that.
And we don't really care enough to find out. Um, but Venom eats Carnage.
We forgot about an important scene.
Mm.
Eddie falls
Oh yeah, the Venom pass. Sorry. So Dan is holding on to a wall, and Anne is like dangling by his feet or whatever. And so Eddie is falling.
because when Shriek did her
Mm-hmm.
massive boom, Eddie kind of slid off from the top.
And so Venom passes through Dan, through Anne, to catch Eddie and save him.
Mid-air, and it's so fun
In
to
one
watch.
shot.
Yes.
Fluid. It's amazing to watch. But anyways, it cuts to Venom eating Carnage. So do you think at that point he should be able to have Venom at Carnage's powers? In the
Theor-
comic books, he should.
Theoretically, yes, but this is movies. They operate on different rules.
Right.
Venom has eaten a lot of people. So he should be extremely powerful already.
Mm-hmm.
Even during his fight with Riot, he should have had the upper hand.
Yeah.
But
But
sorry,
go ahead.
kind of the rule is that I like to go back to is Venom stronger in the comics? Yes. Is he strong in the movie? No. Why? Because on his home world, he's considered the lowest class,
Yeah.
the weakest.
Also, they kind of have to nerf him so that way he has threats to deal with.
Yeah. Which also part of the reason he's not as strong is because
He hasn't met Spider-Man.
yes, that
That's
that gives him such a large variety of
powers and
from web swinging to
because that's where like
spider
the super
sense.
strength really comes from.
Oh, absolutely. But without Spider-Man, Venom just becomes this quoting Eddie Brock, this living amoeba that can kind of morph around the host needs if
Mm-hmm.
wanted.
Yeah. But we get to Cletus lying there. I'm pretty sure he's dying because he fell. But he's like, "You never understood what I really wanted, Eddie." And then Venom does like the face part thing where you can see Eddie's face. It's like
Which it's kind of dumb.
it is. It didn't really need. I mean, like I understand that Eddie should be the one to talk to Cletus, but it's whatever. But like Cletus wanted Eddie's friendship.
Right.
He's like, "I'm sorry, Cletus." And then Venom just takes over. He's like, "F this guy," and he just bites his head off. And that's the end of Cletus Cassady.
It should be sympathetic, but you really don't feel it.
I feel like it's sympathetic because of how charismatic Woody Harrelson is.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he'd be like, "Yeah, the monster's dead." But yeah. So Eddie says goodbye to everybody.
Because the church is getting pretty much swatted at this point.
Mm-hmm. We cut back to Mulligan, who has glowing green eyes now, blue eyes somehow, and
Which he's still up on the
the
roof
roof.
after his fight with Shriek because she tried to strangle him with chains and then just kind of kicked him away.
I'm just wondering if he got the eyes because of how long Carnage had him restrained. If like some of Carnage got in him or something. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. We'll never know.
It doesn't matter.
We will
Um,
never know now.
but it cuts to Venom on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Where do we go, Eddie?" He's like, "Well, I guess wherever they need a lethal protector." And he's like, "You actually said it." And then pretty much this is exactly when Last Dance picks up,
After
or
the post cut scene.
which is the post credit scene is Venom gets transported to
The Spider-Man universe.
the MCU universe. It doesn't really pan out, even in No Way Home.
It doesn't pan out the way you would think.
The only implication is that a piece of Venom is in the MCU now,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where we're at with that. But they're implying that symbiotes are multiversal beings, which they are in the comics. There is only one entity for the entire multiverse because of how massive they are and how hive mind they are. So they implied that this Venom has met Spider-Man before. Will we ever know that?
No.
Probably not. But I don't know. They're still making Spider-Man movies. We'll see. And that's pretty much the movie.
Yeah.
Um, any last thoughts we want to give before we go to our questions?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Caden hit me. Okay, let me start out with who would you pick to be Cletus? Let's wrap up that question.
Okay, so I don't know his name, but he played Joker in like the TV series. It was
Oh, Gotham?
it might have been red hair kid.
Yeah.
I think personally, just from looks and how he acts in
Yeah,
the
because he's
show,
the guy from Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor.
maybe I don't know,
Karen Monaghan or his name is something like that. I know you're talking about. He plays a great Joker.
psychopath.
Yeah, he's great.
I think he would have done really well. I think he fits in that age range,
Mm-hmm.
but he's the only one that really comes to mind.
I don't want people to think I'm saying this just because they've been on the screen together. I think Christian Bale has the potential
The
to
potential, that
to
is the key
play
word.
a good psychopath because of American Psycho. He
Yes.
does a great job in American Psycho. He is such a chameleon actor that you can just not see the person at all in his roles. I think he has the power.
He can be 100
Anything.
pounds overweight in one movie. 3 months later, he could be jacked as Batman in the next. 3 months later, he could be severely underweight, starving himself. All roles he has played.
And like I just think he has the kind of energy and the because like
He's very charismatic.
Cletus is charismatic
Hmm.
to a point.
In the movie,
In some of the comics, Cletus plays charismatic, like he tries to be, but
but
like
he fails.
yes, like I do think the Christian could do it. I
Hmm.
don't know if it would come off as psychotic as what it would need to be, but I do think he would try his best though.
Hmm.
I think the only other person, and I hate saying this because of Christian Bale, but like Heath Ledger, I think he could go there.
Maybe, sorta.
I feel like it would be kind of like how he did his Joker, but like I feel like playing Cletus would allow him to be even more unhinged than his Joker was, and his Joker was already pretty unhinged. Um, but like those are the only two I can really kind of like think of.
Notice how on both sides at least one of us said something about a person that's played Joker.
Yeah, because like Cletus is
A Marvel Joker.
it's either him or Green Goblin. Those are the Marvel Jokers by all intents and purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the only two people I could honestly think of that could like stand toe to toe with Tom Hardy in screen presence or whatever.
In terms of screen presence, I can't think of anybody. In terms of functionality as the character, the guy I was talking about.
Right. All right, Caden, give us a question.
All right. Would you let Venom have his freedom?
I would say with the rules that like Eddie would put in place and like the fact of probably not being under investigation, yes, I probably would.
Yeah, I would have to say yes, but there are restrictions, obviously. Can't just go around eating every person you think is a bad guy.
And like the thing about the situation, if Venom would just have had patience and waited like maybe another 6 months, he could have been doing vigilante stuff almost every night.
Mm-hmm.
But he needed once you get past like the situation that the story put them in, yeah, they can't. Otherwise, they would be dead. They would be dead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm. I would.
get there.
I'm trying.
Are
Where?
you there?
No.
Oh, you were on the track of yes, with restrictions. I'm pretty sure your answer was almost the same as mine.
Oh yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
There's nothing else to it.
I know I asked you this question and you're upset I took this question for you, but this will be our final question because this is like the nerd question.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Venom or Carnage?
Mm. It's such a tough decision, but you got to weigh the pros and the cons. Pros: Venom is more likely to agree with you and is more willing to fight for you and with you.
Carnage just wants control.
Yeah. Cons:
Venom's weak.
Venom is the weakest. And both of them share the same con. They both kill to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Pro for Carnage: he's much more versatile. He's much more powerful.
Yep.
Cons: there's a lot more. He's more psychotic. He's more uncontrollable. You never know what's exactly going to happen with
And
him.
he controls the host
Yes, not the
because
other way around.
like while he does manipulate the host or whatever, but like he is more willing to just take control of the body whenever he feels like it,
Hmm.
and he doesn't need that permission.
So, personally, I would have to say Venom.
Venom.
Yeah.
Would I like to have the abilities of Carnage? Yes. I don't want to lose my mind in the process.
I think for that, you would have to go more into comic territory.
Oh yeah. I don't want to have that conversation. That's like at least a 2 hour conversation right there on its own.
But all right, I will up that question with another:
Oh god.
Venom, Riot, or Carnage?
Venom.
Venom still?
Mm.
Why's that?
Because Riot is still a manipulator.
Was it Riot or was it both Riot and the host?
It was Riot because Riot was manipulating the guy, I forget his name,
So do I.
into doing what he wants because he thinks what he's doing is right. And essentially, like, you want power, we'll do this so you can have power. But really, I'm just going to control you so I have the power. I have the leadership.
See, I thought they were working in tandem.
I think the reason why they were working in tandem was because they both wanted something out of it. But Riot was very much manipulating the situation.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, I have one last question.
Always got a one up.
I'm so,
What's your question?
Do you think what Anne did was right by inviting Eddie to dinner?
No. No. See, I've always had the thought process of if you're going to break something off, it's probably best to do it in person if it's like a good relationship.
Right.
If you're still on good terms but you don't feel the spark there, it's best to do it in person. But they seem to be apart for a couple months now,
Yeah, because it sounds like they haven't talked or whatever in months.
and her just calling him to show off her new fancy ring is
A slap in the face.
yeah.
Especially when like Eddie's like, oh my gosh, she broke off with Dr. Dan. It's my chance.
Yeah. He still loves her. That's the problem, and I can guarantee you she knows that.
Because like she will always love him, but it's not going to be like love.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, I care about you, love. But yeah, no, it's not. It's not right at all. Honestly, why wasn't Dan there? That is my question.
No, it's not. Your question was, do I think
But like,
Dan did the
seriously
right
though,
thing?
like, why would I don't?
Probably because Dan has enough trust in Annie to just break things off in a mutual way.
Yeah, that's true.
Because as we've seen, Dan is already a very trusting but cautious guy.
Yeah. All right, guys. This has been Venom. Let there be carnage.
And what's the next movie?
Venom: The Last Dance.
And I'm excited for this. This is one of the, I'm going to say it right now. This is one of the very, very, very few instances that I have seen a movie where Logan has not.
Yeah, you'll be able to see all my reactions and everything.
And I think it's so funny because he owns the movie.
I had the full intent of watching it right after I bought it,
No, you didn't.
but like, so many things happen. Like my collection or whatever. I buy movies because I know I'm gonna watch them, but then like if I'm in the middle of like a show or something like that, like I just don't have the time. And me and Carly like to watch things together. And right now she's on like a One Piece binge, so I've been doing multiple little animated series on my own while she's on her like forever long anime journey over here. But yeah, we haven't really had like a movie night in a while, but that's also because we're in our own things we're watching right now. Heck, I watched Devil May Cry and over half of Castlevania on Netflix. But yeah, so next week we will be covering Venom: The Last Dance, a first watch for me. Caden's so proud of it. But yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Next ranking next week.
Yeah, Arbor comes back. Real Bros Ranked.
I hate that. Arbor.
You came up with it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You did.
Arbor.
Yeah, RBR. Real Bros Ranked. Arbor.
No, you came up with
No,
that.
you came up
No,
with that.
I will fight you for this. You came up with it. You came up with it on our last series that we did. I know you did.
I'll rewatch some of the old episodes.
I know you did, because if I came up with it, I'd call it Rubber, not Arbor.
You're killing me.
Good. Send you on vacation next.
Is it paid?
No.
Oh, curses. All right, guys. I'm Logan Thomas.
I'm Caden Green.
And this has been the Real Bros Podcast.
Ah!
Come on. Podcast.
Podcast. Not productions. Podcast.
See you guys next week.